I received a brave question from an incredibly brave young woman. She said, I have a partner who lives in a different country and gives me all of my needs for affection. But because of COVID-19 and the changes that are happening in the world, I have intimacy needs that cannot be met by a remote partner. Definitely not in this situation, and sometimes in other situations where we're in two different countries. Would getting another partner in my life that gives me the part of my intimacy or the part of my needs that is not provided by my first partner make me happy? Now, I definitely don't claim to offer relationship advice on the type of relationship you should be in, but I think choice is a big part of happiness. I tend to believe that relationships are a bit like building a home, if you want. If you, if you build a home, you want to have your needs met in that place. Otherwise, it wouldn't feel like home. And, I think the most important part of that analogy is that when you build a home, and if you run out of coffee, you don't go and find another home. You find a way to have coffee. Or if you are designing a home and coffee is super important for you, then maybe it's wise to design a home where coffee can be offered. And that choice at the beginning may make a big difference in terms of your ability to enjoy and fulfill your needs within that space. Of course, some of us choose to have multiple homes, and that's absolutely fine, by the way. It is a choice that is made with being informed upfront and being communicated openly as a choice where I will have my coffee here and maybe I'll have my intellectual conversations there, and that's a model that if it's designed with agreement and with intention, might actually also lead to happiness. I think the topic, however, is bigger than just a current situation or the issue of a choice of relationship type. I think the topic here is freedom. And in our world today, we've been given abundance of everything. We've been given freedom of choice of so many things. And that freedom of choice on one side is an incredible asset that adds to our life, but it's also a challenge that makes our choosing a lot more difficult. And freedom of intimacy is a big part of our world today. But freedom of intimacy and the abundance of choice, I have to highlight, as per economic theory, ends up with an abundance of supply that leads to diminished value of the intimacy that we seek. So because there is so much possibility, we no longer value what we have as much as we used to, at least in my generation or in the times where supply was not that abundance. And on the other hand, that freedom to choose should, by definition, logically lead to better choices. When you really think about it, if I have so much on offer to choose from, then I might as well choose the absolute best home as a result of that abundance. And I find that we don't always do that because of three reasons. One is we may not know what is the kind of home that we're looking for, and so we get dazzled like window shopping by all of that that's on offer, and we keep trying. Oh, maybe it's this one, maybe it's that one. And my advice is really to sit down and imagine from end to end what you're looking in a relationship, in your life, or in multiple relationships if that's your choice, but build them in cohesion so that they become one thing, and that one thing is what you look for. The second is, because there is so much choice, we end up feeling that we are not worthy as compared to everything out there. We sort of compete, and as we compete, we compromise, and as we compromise, we end up accepting choices that are not maybe what we should be having. And then the third, of course, is that we end up believing in conditioning. The conditioning that is placed on us as We are told by so many loudspeakers in the world of the internet and the world of free expression of their own experience, and their own experience might have not fit with a monogamy or polyamory or whatever model that there is in relationships, and accordingly they chose a different choice. But normally when this is communicated to us, that conditioning, it's communicated to us through without the context. And so if you apply it to ourselves, you need to apply the context before you apply the concept. And I will say openly, your choice is your choice. You can pick whatever you believe will make you happy. I'm sorry about the noise. You can pick whatever you believe is going to make you happy, as long as you make sure that it makes you happy, as long as you make sure there is coffee in the house before you build the house.